Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Barbara Rogers. Joining me in the studio now is Sean Dugar. He is the chair of the California Young Democrats Black Caucus. And thank you for stopping by today and helping us to commemorate Black History Month, as well as talk about the California Young Democrats Black Caucus.
Thank you for having me. How
did the California Young Democrats Black Caucus come to be, and how long has it been around?
The caucus has been around since April of 2010, so last year. A group of us got together and felt that there needed to be a place for young Black Democrats who are already involved to come together and to really talk about the issues and to support candidates that spoke to the issues that mattered the most to us.
Were there any particular issues that were sort of jumping out at you that you felt weren't being addressed before?
Not really. There just wasn't a place for us to collectively come together and speak in a unified form to the Democratic Party.
Are you encouraged by what you see now among young Black people in terms of getting involved politically? Because we hear so often that your generation is way less involved than my old generation was. What is the reality? Is that what you see, or is it really different than what we think?
I think it's quite different from the perception that's out there. The Hopi generation of Indians calls my generation the changers, which they've never given to any generation before. For the most part, young people, roughly ages 18 to 26, are more so engaged in projects of social needs. So, Habitat for Humanity, teaching in other underprivileged schools, things like that. But what we're doing is we're trying to take those people who are involved, people who haven't been involved in the past, and bring them into the political spectrum, because we know when they're involved there, that's where the most impact is made in terms of real change here at home.
As you look at Black History Month, and especially in relationship to your political involvement, who do you look at as your heroes within Black history?
I also come from a civil rights background with 8 years with the NAACP. So I always have to look at those civil rights heroes personally who have come before us. But I look at the political heroes, especially here in the East Bay, like Maudel Sherrick, who without her, there wouldn't be Ron Dellums, and without a Ron Dellums, there wouldn't be a Barbara Lee, and without a Barbara Lee, there wouldn't be a Sandre Swanson or Keith Carson. So people like that who have really made a long-lasting change are my heroes and people that I look up to.
When you were coming up, were there any who inspired you to become more politically active?
Well, I'm from Berkeley, so it's in my blood.
Yeah, it's in your DNA if you're in Berkeley, right?
Exactly. But my parents were big supporters and continue to be big supporters in ensuring that I have a voice and that I continue to make sure other folks have a voice in their communities.
What is it that you think you can do to get those who are not as involved as you are, especially African Americans? How do you get them more involved in the political process, or to care more about what's going on in their communities?
I think there's a certain level of wanting to be involved. It's just a matter of having to reach out to people where they are. We can't always go to farmers markets or to bookstores and expect to see people of my age or young African Americans. We have to meet them where they are, whether that's recreation centers or in school, community college campuses, or just in their community.
And is that what you're doing?
That's what we're doing, yes.
So you're doing a lot of outreach?
We definitely have. We've grown. Our first meeting, we had 30 people. Now we have over 600 members across the state.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yes.
And I understand your goal is to set up 5 more clubs across the state.
Right. We're creating 5 young Black Democrat clubs across the state of California. There never have been young Black Democrats clubs in California.
Well, thank you, Sean Dugar, for coming in and talking to us about Black History Month and also about the California Young Democrats Black Caucus.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another edition of Comcast Newsmakers. I hope you'll be with us again next time. Bye-bye.